what's going on? It's me, your girl, Antoinette, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning into Antoinette Develops, my YouTube channel that I created because I am passionate about seeing you win. I want to see you overcome the obstacles and challenges that you face on a daily so that you can create and live your best life. Yes. So if you've been here before, I definitely want to say welcome back. And if you have never came across the internet develops video at all, never ever, I definitely want to welcome you. And I want you to press that subscribe button so you can get notified every time I post a new video, okay? Because I'm about to have these videos coming at you, and I need you to be aware so you can watch and grow with me, you know? So, did you know that October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month? When I found this out, I definitely had to do a video on the topic to support the cause, because not only am I a domestic violence survivor, I also grew up being exposed to domestic violence from a very early age. So I wanted to do this video to share my story as it pertains to domestic violence. As a form of motivation to support you in getting out. I'm no longer in a domestic violence situation, so I want you to know that it is possible for you to. You do not have to stay with your abuser. You can, change your situation. You do have the power within you to do that. I'm sharing my story with you to do that, and also I'm going to share with you some tips, tools, and strategies that you can use to support you in changing your domestic violence situation. Okay? Alright, so let's get into it. So I was exposed to domestic violence at an early age. I like around the age of 6. I remember one of my first memories were with my mom. I remember being in the backyard Riverside Project, and I remember her being on the concrete ground and her being kicked by her boyfriend at that time. I also remember my dad, he was very abusive to his women, and he would, after he would abuse them, would send them in a room and just treat them like kids after he would give them their being. That's how I felt. That's how I interpreted it at that time. And then one of my most traumatic memories was when I was in daycare, and my daycare teacher, I was like 6 years old, and her boyfriend came in there and literally drug her out of the classroom by her hair. And that was so oh my God, traumatized. I don't even remember no counselor or nothing coming to talk to us after that, because that was crazy. Yeah, crazy. So after being exposed to that, and although those are my most earliest experiences, I could write a book about all my abuse situations that I have seen in my life, and I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to talk about everyone, but those were the earliest memories of domestic violence. And then when I became 17, I got involved in my own domestic violent relationship that lasted for about 4 years, and that was just crazy. That was just crazy as heck. Crazy. As I think about it, I'm just like, wow, and I'm so happy that I just don't have to go through that anymore. But I want to share with y'all I'm going to use the Unlock, Explore, and Learn method to support you in overcoming your abuse and becoming a domestic violence survivor, okay? Because it's possible for you. And there's certain methods and strategies that you can use to support you in doing the work on your own, and also seeking help for your success as well, because you can't always do it by yourself. So, Unlock, Explore, and Learn. So that's the method that I have been using. If you've been watching my last series, to create your best life, you have to unlock, explore, and learn. And you can unlock, explore, unlearn in your relationships and in your challenge, in any challenge that you face. So you need to unlock this compartment if you have ever been involved in a domestic violent relationship, or if you have exposed your children to domestic violence. You have to unlock this compartment. You have to do some examining, some self-assessments. You have to really examine what's going on in here, because we have to end this cycle of domestic violence, because it is a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle that must end, and it takes you to do it. It takes you to end the cycle. So once you unlock this compartment, you have to explore inside this compartment. It is not a game. You have to really do a self-assessment, figure out what's going on within me right now that's causing me to deal with this, or what was going on with me in this when I was in my abusive relationship. Why did I stay? What was going on? Because if you're no longer in an abusive relationship, but you try to act like it never happened, you have to really think about it, so that way when you see the signs again, or if you were to see the signs again, you can be like, you know what, I'm going down an ugly, dark path that I do not want to go down. Okay? So you have to really do some exploration in this compartment. You have to really think about, where did this behavior stem from? Where did it stem from? When I answered this question, when I was doing this process on myself, and I did this in school and social work, it wasn't unlocking, exploring, learning. I named this that, but it was where we used to have to really figure out where our the negative parts of us, where did it stem from, where did it come from? So when I answered these questions, I'm like, okay, I started to think about it, like, okay, my mom, my dad, I seen this, I seen that. Okay, that's where it stemmed from. That's where I learned this behavior from. When was the first time you saw, abuse happen? Because the first time, that means a lot. The first time I saw abuse happen, I was 6 years old. I didn't start really remembering stuff. You don't really gain your memory until about age 3. So the first 3 years of my real memory, I was seeing abuse. So I'm 30 now. And I was seeing that for a long time. So my foundation was built on abuse, so it became normal for me. So if you've seen it at 6, or if you just grow up with it in your household, then you're going to think abuse is normal. But just because you seen it growing up, don't take the power from you to know that you can change it, because it's not. It might be normal, but it's not okay. It might be your normal, but it's not okay. And you can change that situation. When did you decide to accept this abuse, this situation, domestic violence? When did you decide to accept it as normal for yourself? When was that first moment that you were involved in an abusive relationship and you said, I'm going to take this man back? What were you thinking when you said, I'm going to go back to him after he did it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times? It's really important for you to examine your thoughts as it pertains to abuse, especially as it pertains to you going back to your abuser. It's important for you to do that. You gotta be honest with yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself, then you're not gonna be honest with nobody else. You can at least be honest with yourself. And what's causing you to stay in this abusive relationship? What's causing you to stay? Some people stay for the kids. I used to work at a domestic violence. I used to support victims and getting PFAs, protection from abuse orders, in school when I was doing my internship, getting my bachelor's in social work. And a lot of people stay for their kids. A lot of people stay because they don't have the resources to leave an abuser. A lot of people stay because they love a person, they love that abuser so much, or for whatever reason. But what's causing you to stay? Figure that out. Be honest with yourself. Why are you staying? Because once you be honest with yourself and you figure out why you're staying in this abusive situation, you then have the power to not be weak in that area. You have the power to strengthen yourself in that area because now you have identified a weakness. You've identified it, and one of the greatest things that's the reason why I love to identify weaknesses is because I like to strengthen them. Because you can strengthen your weaknesses. You can. You got to know what they are though first. And then last but not least, you have to be honest with yourself. Do you want to change the situation? Do you want to be a survivor of domestic violence? Do you want to not be involved with somebody that's, tearing you down, beating you down physically, mentally, emotionally? Is that what you want? Because if that's what you want, that's what you can have. But it requires you to do the work. It requires you to move on to the unlearning process. You have to unlearn the things that you identified when you were exploring. You have to unlearn the thought processes of this is normal. Because if you grow up seeing it, you think it's normal, but it's not. You have to unlearn that thought process. You have to unlearn fear. Some people stay with their abuser because they fear that they might, harm them, or they fear that they can't go. They have whatever fear that is after them staying with their abuser. You have to unlearn that. You have to seek a professional to support you in unlearning your fears. You have to, some people stay because of love. And if you are one who stays because of love, you have to learn how to love yourself and learn what you deserve. You have to unlearn what putting somebody before your needs are, and you have to learn how to love yourself first. And if you're staying in an abusive relationship because you may lack resources, you have to unlearn the fact that you are dependent on people. You can't be dependent on folks. You gotta get your own. You literally gotta get your own. Even in your relationship, even when you're married, you gotta get your own. Not 50-50, you gotta have 100. You gotta be 100% whole, and the person that you attract has to be 100% whole. And you can only attract a 100% whole person when you are 100% whole. And a lot of times, abusers, they are beating you down, trying to belittle you, because they know that you are operating at 100% and they only are operating at a 50, and it scares them. It scares them. They see the good in you and they want to beat that up out of you. Don't allow nobody to do that to you. Do not allow nobody to do that to you. You have to really unlock inside this compartment if you are in an abusive relationship, or if you expose your children to abuse. You have to explore inside this compartment to really do an assessment to figure out what it is that is going on with you currently in this moment, and why are you accepting certain behaviors. And then you have to unlearn. You have to be, if you want to create change, if you decide in the exploration part that you do want to create change in your life, you have to be willing to unlearn the things that you have learned to become a domestic violence survivor. It's on you. You can do it, but you cannot do it by yourself. I fully encourage you to find a professional that you can talk to, that can support you in developing a plan that is going to motivate you into leaving that situation, or into changing that situation, or somebody that you can talk to objectively about your situation. And that can be me. Like I said, call me. You can email me at tgn@internetdevelops.com. And if you want to have a complimentary discovery session about ways in which you can overcome this challenge of domestic violence, please reach out to me. I am open to communicating with you and developing a plan and figuring out what the next steps that you need to take to support you in getting through this trauma and drama. I've done it. You can do it too. You can do it too. You deserve to live your best life. You really do. You really, really do. And commit today to taking control of your life and living a whole and wonderful life, because you deserve that. So thank y'all so much for tuning in to Internet Develop. I definitely really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Please, if you have any topics that you want me to discuss, please, y'all, let me know. You can email me. I'll leave my information below. You can also put it in a comment. I don't mind. What topics do you want me to discuss? And I'll be back in a little bit. See y'all later.